Honestly, I think today is kind of the result of my mistakes. FP1, qualifying, the traffic, all in all, I think that puts us a little bit in a difficult situation because we start further back in the grid. Then for strategy, there's been a bit of talk. On the radio, I was of the opinion of the one stop could work. The team was more of the opinion that the two stops was the right way. Eventually, the team is making the final call because they have more information than I do. There was information because I wanted to make it clear that this was not what I was thinking. But I understand. I think we'll speak with the team. I will explain them what I saw that made me think that this was the wrong choice. Overall, I don't think this has completely changed our race result. Eventually, that's where we deserve to finish.
To still get sixth with that damage, I'm really grateful. So I'll definitely take it. We also had almost had brake failure almost as well. So pedal went super long, so I had to manage these brakes for a period of time, and then they came back towards the end. So given those issues, I'm grateful for the points.
Yeah, I felt good about that race. Obviously, there's a lot of chatter before the race, especially about the start, but I felt good, felt confident, focused on myself, was fast where we needed to be, and just controlled it from start to finish. So, really pleased to get a win on the board.
It was tough there, to be honest. The first two stints, I think, was struggling quite a bit with the tires. So we had to drive a very defensive race, quite an aggressive strategy. Also with the final stop was quite early, but it worked for us. We kept the cars behind, even though I never really felt like I had the pace to fight for the win.
It's amazing. It's a great feeling. Was very stressful, especially the last lap. They felt so long. Honestly, I was out of 10. I was not only looking in the mirror, but I was looking at the screen to see how many laps were left because, it was very stressful. I mean, the McLaren were coming back because on the last stint they pushed a bit too hard behind Max and started to degrade the front left, and it was not easy, but super happy with the result.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously haven't seen it, so I don't really know. I was defending the inside and then felt a small touch, and that's honestly all I have at the moment. So. Obviously a shame for the team, and it was a bit of a difficult race apart from that. But just not the easiest of weekends.
Quite happy. I think the car was good the whole weekend, not only on the race. Actually, the race probably was our least strong point of the weekend, and thanks to the sixth position yesterday in qualifying, we kept the pace at the beginning of the race, and we opened a gap that it was a little bit. Our safety net, for the pit stops and things like that. So, good weekend. We executed well, and good points for the team.
A bit like I suspected, I think in the race trim, the car even, comes alive a bit more. That update really paying dividends there, and just have a better consistency, a better balance in the car. So, quite pleasant. I think made some good gains. Franco and Alex, they had some trouble were fighting in turn 8-9 in lap 1, and I managed to capitalize on that. And then it was a pretty clean race. A couple of overtakes to do, fun bit of racing, and managing tires basically.
Very pleased with the whole work that the team did this weekend. I think we maximized the potential. It was not a clear cut that strategy was going to be better before the race, but it paid off to take the risk, and we managed to deliver a very solid one, solid laps in clean air, which was the important one. So we overcut quite a lot of cars, and then we bring the car home to seal the position at the end with the safety car. So quite a hard beating race, but a very good nevertheless.
After the impeding of yesterday and obviously unlucky situation starting 16, you would have told me before the race that we would get into the points. I would have probably been a good result that I would take home with, but after having spent 70 laps managing issues and not being able really to push or race with issues in the car, I'm a bit frustrated that we couldn't just spend 70 laps not pushing and still make it to the points. Obviously happy with that, but I wish I could have pushed a bit more and show the true potential that we have as a team.
Honestly, we had a bit more pace in the car today. Just with the strategy, we ended up stuck a bit in the traffic of the people doing starting on the hard tyre, and with the DRS train, it's really impossible to overtake. So yeah, we had a lot more in the car, and once I got free air, I had good pace, but I spent the whole race stuck in the DRS, and it's difficult to overtake. So, yeah, happy, but there could have been a bit more today.
Pace was okay, not amazing, but yeah, I still not too bad. And yeah, other than that, yeah, pretty much that's it, really. At least positive is I guess the car performance now, and the pace in the car felt a bit more normal or better than last previous races. So yeah, at least there's a bit of motivation there.
So I think we maximized a bit what we've done today. It just didn't go our way. I think strategy-wise was tricky to know that we were doing the wrong thing. But I think we definitely were doing the wrong stuff at the beginning of the race. Stopping early with so many cars starting on hard, and the teammates of the guys in front making the race slow for them, it just put us in a really bad position. We killed the tires. I had a really slow pace for that after that pit stop with all the dirty air, and very tricky to overtake. Just power limit on the straights, and just made our race very tricky. It kind of snowballed down and went a bit backwards. So yeah, it was tough out there today. I think still some things learned and some things to take. But yeah, we need to focus on the next one.
I think it was just tough to keep some fast cars that we had behind it. I think I told you this before the race. I think, there was the Williams, RBs and Red Bull behind me. So to keep them behind, it's a very tough task because they generally have a faster car for now. And as soon as they overtook me, I managed to put my pace, and I think it was quite decent. But still, it's just tough to move forward. I still managed to make one position from the start of the race, but it wasn't enough to score points. We were starting P15, so you need also to have a bit of luck. And I think we were waiting for a safety car for a very long time with the hards, and it never happened. So yeah, it's racing. It's okay. We paid the price to what we wanted to achieve, and it didn't happen, and it's fine.
I mean, we tried with the strategy. I think to be fair, we tried everything we could. Just very slow in the straight, so we need to review exactly what we could have done better. I think we had some pace. It's just been a very frustrating afternoon, just being stuck behind cars, and unfortunately we just slower than them in the straight and made it very, very tricky to pass. So yeah, we'll review it.
I think we just pitted a bit too late. We had high graining at the start of the race. So yeah, we lost a few positions in the pits, and then after that was just a DRS train, and towards the end I just I was lacking so much pace compared to the cars around, and we just got overtaken by everyone.
Not so pleased with the weekend. Rough, long day, so not much more to say.
When you went up against Pierre, did you feel like you'd kind of given enough space?
I have to look at it again. I don't know.
I thought Oscar would move a bit more to the right, not to leave a gap. Obviously, I don't expect something to be easy from him, but I just misjudged it. It was all my mistake. I take full blame, so I apologise to my whole team and to Oscar for attempting something like that.
I mean, it's disappointing. I think obviously it was going to be a very difficult race anyway from the pit lane, but we had a cooling issue at the end, so unfortunately we had to retire. But it's just been a tough weekend, which is a shame.
It's a frustrating one. Not the best on my side either. Just lost out at the beginning, and then I think realistically we tried to make the one-stop work, but the one-stop was never on, especially when you start on the medium tyres. So we fell back pretty quickly, and that was our race. So dropped to P20. if we didn't have the PU issue, we'd likely have still finished P20. So we just need to review where we could have done better, because to me, after the first 10 laps,
was perfect in the race, was perfect in defending against Norris, but not perfect at the start. I mean, he lost the position on Antonelli, so probably not the best of the weekend, but it's going to be important in the future for them, because new parts, new updates. It seems that the other day are closer. Important for McLaren try to react in Austria and to try to reopen the gap. If no, it's going to be a big fight in front, no?
Yeah, from McLaren then on to Ferrari. We've just seen both of the drivers then who walked past us some time ago now to head into the media pen and doing all of their race debriefs. Charles Leclerc was one of the hard tyre starters today. But what we heard on the radio from both drivers were questions once again about the strategy, Davide. Charles Leclerc was saying, let's go plan C. He was told plan B. He said, I want plan C. We then presumed plan C is that one stop. So he wanted to go longer on that hard tyre and then obviously change onto the medium. But Ferrari were wary of that medium lasting due to the deg seen in that first stint by others. It's on a knife edge, decisions like this, isn't it? But
anyways, disappointed hearing the drivers all race long complaining about the decision with the team. I mean, there was a fight already on Friday and on Thursday in the media, with the Italian media, with the voices and the rumors about Vasseur and the future of Ferrari, the team principal of Ferrari. Seems that is everything under control, and then every time protesting with the decision. I don't know, you make the plan before the race and I cannot get why every time there is this type of discussion. Anyway, the rhythm of the car was okay, but not unbelievable. The race of Hamilton was not great and was slower than his teammate. Probably had some issues, some technical problem, because they were speaking at the radio with the engineer saying that with the damage, your pace is okay.
I believe the damage was down to a groundhog, unfortunately. He ran over. I think so. I think that's what I've seen. I'm sure he'll say that the damage may have been a groundhog. So
anyway, not the best of the day for them. And from the outside point, is disappointing hearing every time discussion between engineers and drivers. Usually, sometimes it's happened, but it's every race is a complaining. I don't think it's a great view of the team, a great image for the team.
So even as a former driver, because you must have had moments in the car where you didn't agree with the strategy or you didn't agree with the tyre that was being used, and you complain. Are you long enough now out of the car to see a clearer picture on that? Do you understand their frustration though, where they think it's going a certain way and the pit will say different?
For sure, I can understand the frustration of the driver. I can understand the response, but when it happened to Alonso, his answer is always straight. I'm racing, I'm not dancing now. When it happens to the Ferrari driver, is always a complaining that is not useful, because they don't take a decision, they do what the team asks to do, but then there's always words in addition that is not productive in my point of view. Alonso, do you want to do this? No, stop.
I think he said not testing. We're racing, not testing, not dancing, but I quite like dancing as well. I quite enjoy that. Okay, well, let's hear what Fred Vasseur has to say. Team boss is with Mike Seymour.
Fred, P5 and P6 at the end of that one. I know you would have wanted more, but can we just get your take on how that all unfolded and the performance today?
It's a tough weekend, but honestly, due to the circumstances, the number of mistakes that we made all over the weekend, I think it's not that bad at the end. That we had FP1, we had the quali, we had the Marmot today in the race for Lewis. That at the end it's far too much, and if we want to do better results, we need to be much more consistent. And to be more consistent, we need to have a bit more serenity into the team.
You touched on it there with Lewis. We heard his radio messages, and then the comment that there might be damage on the car. So is that where it was picked up? Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, we had a big kiss with the Marmot on the lap 8, I think, or lap 9. And this damaged all the front part of the floor, but nothing to do.
And where do you go from here, Fred? Obviously, going into the weekend,
I think the weekend that we have to take some positive of the weekend. I think the pace was there in quali, that we were purple sector 1 with Charles before to about the lap. Honestly, I think that we are not that far away. It's tough to say this after P5, P6, but if you put everything together, we can do it. And I will take also the example on Mercedes, that they had 3 very difficult weekend in a row, like Imola, Monaco and Barcelona, and they were able to win this weekend. It means that everything is on the table now, and we just have to do a better job, much more consistent if we want to achieve.
Thank you, Fred. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
P5 and P6 then for Ferrari, and they've dropped down below Mercedes after what was a brilliant day for the Silver Arrows. where do Ferrari go from here? Because they've been under attack from the Italian media this week. They've tried to come out swinging both on and off track, with Fred Vasseur's punchy press conference saying this is so disrespectful. They've got to, I guess, now get some of the talking done on track, because Mercedes have won, Red Bull have won, McLaren are winning often, Ferrari are yet to win, besides, of course, that sprint race win for Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, and was a weekend also full of mistake by the best driver at the moment for them. So Leclerc hit the barrier in free practice, lost all the Friday. He had the mistakes in the last try in qualify, bad result in qualify. He was complaining about dirty hair from Ajar in front that was very far away. And then the race was just normal pace, not special, and they were complaining about the strategy. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that helps to create a great image, but apart of that, the results at the moment are poor, and like you said, everyone around, they are winning, or at least they have won this year, and becomes more and more difficult. I hope that in Austria there is going to be a change in terms of performance and qualified position, and let them have a good race too. And I want to judge after some races, because if you ask me a judgment now, it's pretty disappointing. I mean, Antonelli, there's a chance that he's going to win earlier than Ferrari, and this young kid, I'm a bit disappointed.
Well, based on some of the matter talked about in the media around Fred Vasseur's future, a lot of the wording was saying the next 3 races are crucial. So we now have a P5 and a P6 result. Where do they go in Austria and Silverstone? What, as an Italian, as somebody who understands and knows that Ferrari is not just a national team, but almost a religion within your country, what is the bare minimum over these next 2 races for the pressure just to ease slightly?
They need to score podiums position and be on top, and being like Mercedes today, or at least like Verstappen, fighting with McLaren for something important, be around the top position. We cannot just say we were good yesterday because we set the purple first sector in qualify, and then we almost crashed. I mean, that is not enough, and I hope for them they can get it, because changing the leaders of the team in the middle of this season, with the project of the next regulation and project of the next car, with the new regulation is already started, changing the leaders now, I think is a very bad idea. So I hope for them they can rejoin the group of the top driver and can have some satisfaction for Hamilton and Leclerc.
Strategy errors, technical missteps, and internal pressure. Ferrari's 2025 campaign is spiralling, and the Canadian Grand Prix just made it worse. Instead of capitalising on promising upgrades, they left Montreal with a lot of serious questions. Charles Leclerc is venting, while Lewis Hamilton is defending, and team boss Fred Vasseur may soon be running out of time. Let's break down where it's all going wrong. The Canadian Grand Prix offered Ferrari a shot at redemption, but it didn't land. Charles Leclerc started outside the top 10 after a poor qualifying run. He was eliminated in Q2 and complained about engine mapping and grip loss. Lewis Hamilton made it to Q3, but only managed P7. Both cars had expected upgrades, yet again, they didn't deliver when it was genuinely required. In the race, Leclerc fought into position 6 by lap 20. Then came the turning point. Ferrari called him in for a second pit stop around lap 29, opting for a different tyre compound. Leclerc questioned it instantly over team radio. Why are we stopping again? The stop dropped him behind both McLaren's and even Oscar Piastri's damaged car. Hamilton wasn't spared either. He hit a groundhog in the early laps, which damaged his floor and affected his downforce. Post-race, he said, "It felt like I lost the car in every corner after that." Despite this, he finished just behind Leclerc in P7. Leclerc's radio messages told the story. After the second stop, he said, "We threw away points again." This wasn't heat of the moment anger. He's visibly tired of preventable errors. After the race, Leclerc told reporters that the team needs to be sharper in execution, and added that pace alone isn't the issue. That last line stings because it points to the actual problem. Ferrari's on-track pace is respectable, but their decision-making isn't so much. Hamilton, ever the professional, chose calmer words. He backed the team and explained that external damage was the root of his struggles. But that didn't stop speculation from swirling around Maranello. Fred Vasseur is under pressure. The Italian press has already begun asking if his time should be up. Some insiders report that top Ferrari board members want performance targets hit by the summer break. Miss those, and a leadership shake-up may follow. Leclerc's frustration is only part of the problem. The whispers got louder when an unnamed source suggested that the Scuderia was drifting tactically. Even though Vasseur dismissed the report, the cracks are becoming harder to hide. But there's a twist. Lewis Hamilton stepped in and publicly defended Vasseur. In a post-race interview, he said, "I believe in Fred. He's leading with clarity. The project needs time." That sort of endorsement buys Vasseur space, at least for now. Heading into Canada, Ferrari promised a new front wing and underfloor changes. Only half of that arrived. According to multiple reports, a simulation issue in Maranello delayed the full rollout. The remaining components will now debut at Silverstone. Vasseur explained that the team is taking a careful, stepwise approach to upgrades, but the passionate tifosi aren't convinced. McLaren has rolled out 3 successful packages since April. On the other hand, Red Bull just tested a revised sidepod concept. Even Aston Martin introduced cooling mods. Ferrari, meanwhile, keeps optimizing existing tools, as their engineering chief put it. The problem is, everyone else is leapfrogging, and Ferrari is probably burning time. After Canada, Ferrari sits third in the Constructors' Championship with 183 points. That's behind McLaren at 374 and Mercedes at 199. Red Bull continues to lead, but even they're showing signs of vulnerability. Leclerc is 5th in the drivers' standings. Hamilton is 6th. Notably, neither has a main race podium since Bahrain. The lone bright spot was Hamilton's sprint 3rd in Shanghai. Aside from that, they've been consistently stuck in P5 to P8 territory. Leclerc admitted, "It's frustrating because the car isn't bad. It's not where we want it, but we're not maximising it either." And that's what's so concerning, believe analysts. So, as we can see, the calendar doesn't offer much breathing room. Austria and Silverstone are scheduled back-to-back. Then comes Hungary. Ferrari hopes to bring its full update package to Silverstone. If it doesn't work there, the situation is going to turn worse. Red Bull is expected to stretch its lead. Mercedes has already made gains. And McLaren is literally flying. Given the scenario, the next 3 rounds are about survival for the Scuderian camp, mathematically and reputationally. A bad summer might push Leclerc closer to the exit and force Hamilton to reconsider his long-term buy-in. There's also the matter of mid-season internal reviews. Ferrari's technical reshuffle last year was meant to solve these execution errors. If things don't change soon, another round of firings may begin, starting at strategy and aero departments. So, yes, Ferrari's situation is worrisome, and it's not because of one bad weekend, but because every weekend feels the same with fantastic starts, then poor calls, and finally, lost points. Do you think Fred Vasseur should stay in charge? Can Leclerc and Hamilton still trust this project? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. More interesting post-race breakdowns and F1 strategy talks are on your way.